Hey, what's going on, everyone? Dan the Glassman here. You're watching the Glassman's World, and we are about to get started today on doing a really quick live demonstration on how to do some lattacino, some twisted cane, some ribbon cane, and simply just how to mix different colors together in different layers and things like that. So we're gonna go with some real simple beginner ones, and then we might go into some more advanced techniques. Today, with that being said, let's get started here. So let me set you guys up in the new work mode camera angle here. So let's make sure that you guys are all set up. Oh, hold on. Let's make sure. Ain't gonna fall over during the during the live stream. All right, and let's also make sure that the camera is nice and clean. Both sides here in case we swap it over. All right. And we'll make sure you have a nice angle here so you can see all the work that we're going to be doing today. All right. Something like that should work. Okay. And we'll make sure we got the live comments on, live chat. All right, you guys. We'll turn on the channel here. Let's get this torch turned on. So remember, if you guys been watching recently, been trying to do some really quick and simple instructional demonstrations. More instructional these days than just doing demos. And so with that being said, in order to turn on the torch, remember you got to do the acronym POOP: propane, oxygen, oxygen, propane. This is a striker here. This is a lighter that doesn't work. So basically, any old lighter is a perfect striker for basically turning on your torch. So you turn on your propane, then you light your propane, right? Then your oxygen, and you bring your oxygen on. And you don't want too much propane, and you don't want too much oxygen. You want to have it like pretty much right in the middle. Something like that. But we want a bigger flame than that, definitely. And also, I'm going to bring you up at the angle a little bit better there so you can see more of the work here. But I want you to have the pad as well. There we go. That way you can see what's going on down here. So today, we're going to start out with the very simple basic twisted cane, which is either done with one or two colors wrapped around clear glass. So we're going to start with the very simple, very basic lattacino or a twisted cane. So to make a twisted cane, you want to start out with your, I always work with 16 millimeter rod. It's what I make with with a lot of different stuff. Oh, and nice. I see that Colette Cat is here. Here I am, a beginner. So thank you for tuning in and watching. And good morning. I don't know where you're watching from, but it is 7-ish. I don't know. I'm all looking at the clock on my computer here, and it says 6:52, and that's completely wrong. It is not 6:52. It is after 7. It's like 7:15 or something like that. Okay, so to get started, I got my 16 millimeter rod. We introduce this into the flame by just putting the tip right in the flame. So as soon as you touch that flame, it gets that orange, the sodium flare, right? And that's why you need the didymium glasses to wear. I wish that this lens worked to remove the sodium flare. I think the didymiums that I have here, these are the rose tinted didymiums here. These are the economies. I actually bought these a long time ago for like only 60 bucks. I think now you can't get them for less than, I don't know. I think maybe they were even cheaper than that. But let me see. I'm going to just do a really quick thing here. I know that this isn't going to be the best, but I just want to see real quick. Does this, because I might be able to figure out something here eventually, not today. Does this actually it does. Look at that. So that's the difference when the glass is in the flame and you're wearing glasses compared to not wearing glasses. So maybe eventually one day I'll figure out how to hook those up. Alright, so you're watching from Ohio, and it's 9:37. You know, that's my favorite numbers. The number 9, which is 333. I actually have like a tattoo on my back, and it's almost in the shape of a 9. It's like a fisherman's hook upside down, but then like this crazy tribal. And when I drew it in high school, it looked like what I called what did I call it? Some sort of a crazy like space cadet. An astronaut, I don't know, some spaceman, but it was my own thinking or whatever. You found me from Tommy Temper, and I have no idea who Tommy Temper is, but thank you, Tommy. Is that another YouTuber or someone online here, or someone local that maybe knows me or I may know? So this here, we basically just introduced the clear 16 millimeter rod into the flame there. Slowly started to heat up the tip, rounding down the tip. Cool, YouTuber, awesome. I'll make sure to check out Tommy Temper. Maybe I watch him. I watch a lot of different glass artists. And then we're basically getting this heated up about a good 3/4 inch, or even 1 inch of this rod on the tip here, and really just gonna get it molten. I'm rocking it back and forth. What I like to tell people is, when I'm spinning it, I spin it forward to me more, and then I go backwards some. Always counteract that spin. And usually I go like 1, 2, 3, and then back. Sometimes it's 1, 2, back, 1, 2, back. At least 1, 2, 3, and then back some. You always change your rotation. Spin forward, spin towards you, spin back. So when I'm spinning forward, that means that the back side of the glass is coming up on top this way. And when I spin it away, it's going the other way. It's going up and then down like that. So that's how the rotation's going, like that. Okay, so this is how I would make like a pendant or something like that. But we don't need to get this molten. I'm just heating it up to show you. Oh, Tommy Temper helps to send audience to other YouTubers to help grow their channel. He is worth finding and subbing. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. But you found me through him, so he must have already shared me out. Okay, so we're going to do a very basic, simple one. We're going to use, let's go with, a lot of people have this. I believe it's I think it's caramel. Could be butterscotch. It's a North Star color. You can see the tag is off. I didn't buy it with the tag on there. I don't remember if it's caramel or butterscotch. We're going to melt this and lay one line right down the side. I will definitely find Tommy Temper. Is he a glass artist? Or he just sends people to different YouTubers? He just watches people and checks it out? Alright, so now we got this preheated, so we know that's not going to crack. We're going to heat this up, so I'm just going to rock it back and forth in the flame to get all sides of the color hot, and I'm going to move up the flame a little bit, about 1/2 inch of it, Then we're going to heat up the tip, get it molten hot, touch it to the top right here, pull it down so you allow that glass to melt and drag down. And let's pull like about an inch and a quarter is probably what that is right there. Okay? So now, usually I would melt down that little tip really quick right away. You can see there's like a little knob that sticks up. And so I would usually, as soon as I lay it down, then I touch it right to my torch like that and make sure it's on the body nice and flat. You can also use your paddle to do that as well if you have an aluminum body torch. And now we're going to just heat up this whole entire thing. We're going to put a lot more heat towards this, what I call the back side. This is the front, this is the back, this is the bottom of a pendant usually, and this is the top. So sometimes I explain things like that. Oh, one of his mods found me live one day during his show, and that mod posted his site. Oh, awesome. Oh, is that individual a trucker? Was that, he was like riding through New Mexico, I think, and like probably going from like, I don't know, Las Cruces through to somewhere. I don't know. I watch truckers from time to time. Just, it's fun. You know, when I was younger, I used to work as a mover. And my dad, he taught me when I was like 15 years old, you know, freshman year in high school. He taught me how to find jobs with the local truckers here. You go down to the truck stop, you wave down a trucker like, you know, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. As soon as they get here in the morning, right before they're getting their breakfast and stuff, and you let them know, hey, I'm available to work today if you need a lumper. A lumper is someone who helps you unload your truck or load it. And sometimes they need packers and stuff too, but usually you'd either load or unload a truck, and you just jump in the cab with them. So I used to ride around in the trucker's cab, you know, and it's cool to be in the cab, to see all the different designs that they have for the semi trucks where they sleep, and you know, they got bunk beds and single beds and double wides, and man, it's crazy, man. Flat screen TVs, microwave ovens, like all kinds of stuff. So right now I'm basically just melting this down. I'm trying to get that color to melt down just a little bit, but I'm really just heating this up. And we don't need this big of a twisted cane, but we're gonna use it. Also, I'm going to, instead of just using a punty, we're gonna make this more permanent. So I'm going to grab me one of my scrap blow tubes. And you can use a 7mm rod is a really good handle, or a punty. So if you get some 7mm rod, you can just use that. I like to use my scraps and make sure, you know, I'm always trying to minimize my waste. I'm an environmentalist. I'm huge on being, you know, green and ecologically friendly, and, you know, I'm always about sharing things. My wife, I got her into Norwex, and she's been selling Norwex for like 4 or 5 years now, which is all about the environment and getting yourself away from cleaning products and things like that. I have a chemical sensitivity, so like I can smell your perfume and your cologne if you're wearing it, and it gives me a headache. I can't walk down those aisles with like all the scented candles and the detergents and things. I don't use soap anymore for bathing. I used to use Dr. Bronner's, and now I simply use Norwex body cloth with just water. It helps to eliminate your soap entirely, but you know, from time to time I do have to shampoo my hair, and from time to time I do like to use Dr. Bronner's because of the essential oils, especially that peppermint and the tea tree. Amazing. All right, so now that this is all molten, and we got this little punchy here, it's a handle, and to use a tube, I simply just heat that up. I gather the end, that hollow piece, it basically falls down on itself, and it becomes like a little marble on the tip right there, right? And so you just form a little marble right there, and that's going to be the tip that we're going to attach here. So that's now going to be our handle. Oh, and no, he's not a trucker. Well, wow, you are right. It was Ride Along Gang. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Tommy Temper is still worth finding. Okay, so Tommy Temper was on the Ride Along Gang. Oh, you're wave sensitive. Oh, have you heard of Norwex? I'm always about promoting Norwex. Norwex is what I use for cleaning my glass. This is an OptiCloth for cleaning your glasses and also your phones, your flat screens, your smart glass, and all that stuff. And I use it for cleaning my glass here, taking off all the fingerprints, dirt, and debris. This is moltening up here. We're going to get started twisting it. So what's going to happen, I'm going to attach this to the bottom like this. This is molten, so it's just going to attach. Then I'm going to start spinning my right hand more than my left. I'm letting that left handle spin, but it's kind of just like I'm slowing it down, like I'm squeezing this a little bit and slowing it down. And then I'm just going to twist it, and you can see how that color spirals, and you can either have it as tight or as loose as you want, and then you want to move down to the portion down here where it's not so so twist it, and you can see all this color right here. It's not twisting yet, but we can put that heat right on it. Wherever you want to move the glass, that's where you want to put the heat. So you can control this as much as you want, or you can accidentally let it get out of control by basically not putting on the brakes, not releasing the gas, not stopping. You know, you couldn't easily just take it out of the flame for a minute. If it starts to get out of the way, get out of control, bring it back into control, but always spin it and have it constantly in control. So that's a real simple twisted cane right there. Real nice, really easy, very simple, just like that. Now, to actually make a stringer, that's one thing where then you would work the tip here like this, right? And you would start to pull this and stretch it. And actually, being that this is the handle, we're going to stretch it from the other side here. So we're going to keep this side thick. I'm going to actually thicken this. I'm going to melt this down a little bit more. We're going to thicken this and make sure that it's attached really well to the handle. Keeping it all nice and in control. Making sure I'm not putting that heat to that tubing there. That tubing is so thin that I can lose control of that. And so now, that's a twisted cane. You would want to cut it off from your rod right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to heat up this top portion here. And I'm going to show you how to pull a stringer on the top of this right here. And I'm going to actually pull this out just a little bit, because I might coil pot this eventually. I might do something with this. I haven't done a regular twisty cane lattacino in a long time. So what I'm doing is I'm heating up the thicker portions here, and I'm twisting it. I'm making sure that I'm keeping that coil tight. So as I'm spinning it, I'm really spinning my right hand and keeping it a lot tighter. I'm just trying to pull out this whole thing to where it's all about that same thickness there. This isn't a part of the lesson. This is now I'm just working it. What we want to do is get this top here thinned out some. And as you can see, like I'm pretty precise when I pull it. I've done body jewelry for many years, since about 90, I think 98 is when I got started making gauges. Making body jewelry. I was the first one here in New Mexico to start making body jewelry in glass and making gauges and selling it to all the body piercing shops, tattoo and body piercing shops here in Albuquerque and Santa Fe and a couple places around the state. I've been blowing glass since '95, so I'm one of the originators on a lot of many different things, but I don't really I don't boast about it and stuff too much. A lot of people don't know who I am in the glass blowing scene, or they've never really seen me, but they've heard of me because I kind of stay out of the different glass blowing studios. Because glass blowers, all they want to talk about is blowing glass, and I like to talk about other things. All right, so now we're at the point where, let's just say, okay, you've twisted it up, and now you want to pull it. We would normally be pulling it from that other side, but since I want to use this, we're going to now pull this side here. Okay, so what you would want to do is start from your end right here where the color is, and you want to pull this, and I'm twisting it. I'm twisting my right hand super fast. I don't know if you can see the right hand's twisting, the left hand just lagging behind. It's like barely even twisting, right? So now what you want to do is you want to pull that, and then you want to hold your hold your heat right at that thick spot, and you just slowly pull away from that. And if it gets too hot or whatever, just take it out of the flame, let it set up. But that's how you then pull a stringer, and then you got yourself a bunch of little twisty cane right there, which I'm not even going to use any of that, so I'm just going to take that off. We're going to scrap all of that. I don't know, I might be able to use that for something, but this is our first twisted cane right here. Very simple. Okay, so that's one color on clear glass. Now let's do two color on clear glass. So when you're working colors, you want to learn what are very good contrasting or complementary colors. Most colors are, they work out pretty well together. But, in paper, you don't want to be mixing like blues and reds because it's hard to read. You've never heard of Norway? It's called Norwex. It's made in Norway, actually. It's basically giving you the Norwegian experience. I guess in Norway, my friend from Canada, he makes he does water. He has the Drop of Water campaign up there in Canada, which is basically my water drops that we gift out to water protectors from all over the world. I've gifted out 3,808 of these so far to basically thank individual water protectors for dedicating their lives to protecting water in some way or another. Many of them were up at Standing Rock, or they were at the Gathering of Nations Powwow, Buffalo Dance in 2017, or they were part of a lot of different actions and protests on the different pipelines around the world. And we've gifted out so many. I've pretty much gifted out 3,808 to individuals that I have been able to meet, to talk with, and to hear their stories. It is so incredible, the stories. Every time that I gift another individual, I usually am dropping tears, and it's a hard thing. It's very emotional, and it's a beautiful thing. All right, so now let's do a two color. And I'm trying to look around and see what colors we got. So cobalt works pretty good. Cobalt's a good color. Most people have cobalt blue. So let's do the same color that we worked with before, and we'll add cobalt blue to it. Yeah, so Norwex, my wife sells it. I can put the link here in just a moment, and then you can check out her. Actually, I don't even know her brand new link. I love Norwex, the product, but right now I think what happened is they had a corporate takeover, and the original owner, Debbie Bolton, I think she sold the company, and she's now just like the main spokesperson, right? The main CEO, but there's someone above her that owns it entirely or something like that. And so they've been cutting corners left and right for the last year or so, and we've been noticing it. My wife has noticed it as a consultant, and I've just noticed it because I just pay attention to what's going on, and I'm listening to their different when they have the sales meetings, They have all the consultants at the regional online meetings and stuff like that, and they're doing the product releases and all this stuff, you know. And I get to hear all this stuff. And they changed up the whole website, and so now I don't even know my wife's website. It used to be serenaestrada.norwex.biz, nice and simple. Now it's like norwex.com /site / and then her name, Serena Estrada, I think. I don't know. We'll try it out. Okay, so I'm preheating the clear glass as I'm getting the color ready. We're going to draw this on the same way that we just did. Starting from the top, bring this down on molten. You hold that flame right in the glass. I don't need so much, so I'm not going to use too much of my color for this. And then we're going to mash it down, either on the torch or using the paddle, right? If you don't have a strong torch, then just use the paddle like this. Then we'll get the cobalt. And the cobalt, I guess it's been pre-pulled a little bit, so we're just going to draw it on. Try to keep it that same thickness as the opposite color. We're going to draw it directly on the opposite side there. And then we start heating it. I always start heating from this side here where the color is, because that's where you last laid the color down and where it doesn't really attach to the clear glass. And for some reason, if you heat up this portion before you heat this side up, this side always gets like a little crack, a little shatter in there, right there at the attachment. So you know that's why. And yes, and the drop of water, used to be at thedropofwater.com, and I foolishly allowed thedropofwater.com to slip right out of my hands. I can't believe that. Alright, I gotta have more too. Come on. Okay. Well, I may not have any more too, but I got some scrap rods down here on the floor, so we can use those as well. I'm like, what? How do I not have any scrap tubing? Because I don't work in tubing anymore. Alright, so we're going to use this. This is like a 12.5 millimeter. This is a 1/2 inch rod. So you can see the difference in size, the 16 mil compared to the 1/2 inch. So this is like a 3/4 inch rod, and this is a 1/2 inch rod. We're going to use this here. I'm going to melt this down a little bit so it's not just a point. We won't be able to have a good connection there. So I'm going to gather this the end piece here. I wiped it real quick with the Norwex. Every time, use the OptiCloth, all the time. Okay, so now we're going to get this back to molten. And the drop of water, you can find it on Facebook, facebook.com/thedropofwater. Or the drop of water, the drop of water. And so since 2017, the Gathering of Nations powwow, I was invited to be a part of that ceremony with the drop of water. Friends of mine from Acoma Pueblo were invited to be part of the special presentation of the Buffalo Dance during the Gathering of Nations powwow 2017. And it was to honor the buffalo, to honor Standing Rock, and to honor the water, and to honor the water protectors at Standing Rock. And so this was a very special presentation, ceremony that they had done at the gathering in 2017. And my friends from Acoma Pueblo were invited to be part of the Pueblo Enchantment Dancers. So they had Acoma Pueblo, Santo Domingo Pueblo, and I don't remember the third one, so I don't want to say the wrong one, but a third one as well. And they had those individuals all together in the Pueblo Enchantment Dancers, and my friends from Acoma, they danced the White Buffalo. And so when they were asked to be part of this special presentation to honor and dance and pray for the water and the water protectors and Standing Rock and the buffalo, it was very special to them. And they asked if they could wear, they asked the person who was putting this special presentation together and the individuals from the Gathering of Nations, they asked them if they could wear a special symbol to represent water during the ceremony. And then they came to me the next day and they said, hey, we asked if we could wear your water drops, because I had already started making them, because Creator told me in November of 2016 to start making the drop of water, something that would symbolize water that I could replicate over and over again. That was the message. To make something that symbolizes water that I can replicate over and over again. And so that's what happened. And sorry, I attached this here. We're going to twist this up. We're going to make this a twisted cane as well. I'm just making sure that it has a nice attachment there on the bottom. So we attach the punchy, and now we're twisting this up, getting that heat in there and making it nice and tight. And this could, you know, you can make a twisted cane like this, and you can turn this into a beautiful pendant, you know, with two colors like this. You know, so maybe what we'll do is we'll keep this nice and big, and that way, because I want to show and have a picture of them all side by side. But I'll probably keep this one nice and thick here, and then we'll just cut it off right here on the top. And you know, usually when you pull this and you pull it thin, you really have to get into that clear glass so you don't pull any of that color glass with it. There we go. So now I'm like pretty much right on that clear glass there. And I'm trying to keep that spin going on my right hand, just in case that color follows with it a little bit. And bam, that's how you make a twisty cane with two color right there. On clear. And now we can turn this into a pendant. We can round up this part, or probably when I work it now, this will be the bottom. So we'll round up this, and then we'll pull it from the top, and that'll be the loop. And yeah, that's how you can make and you can probably do two pendants. You can make a marble out of this. You make earrings. You can make Christmas ornaments. You know, pull it out and draw different things. A lip wrap for a goblet. All kinds of different things. You know, you can accent a pendant, go around on the outside and make a pendant. I can turn this into a hot air balloon. There's so many different things. Yeah, and it's the drop of water. Not just a drop of water, but this is the drop of water. This is the drop of water that we gift out. The drop of water. And many individuals from all over the world have been gifted this. And individuals like Jason Miraz, Dave Matthews, Benita Datura from NRG Rising, all the way from New Zealand. A tribe called Red. They're a DJ sound, I don't know what you call them, DJ music, indigenous hip-hop or sound, I don't know what you call it. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one. But yeah, there's so many individuals who are out there that have been gifted the drop of water. Carlos Santana was gifted one, but not because he was part of all that, but because a friend who was a water protector I had met at a very special ceremony at Sundance, he told me he was working with Santana, and they were gifting them instruments, guitars and drums and things like that during their cancer treatments. So they were gifting children instruments to help them have something to do with their time while they're healing. And I thought that was a beautiful thing that they were doing. And so as I was gifting our friend the drop of water, because he was a water protector from Arizona, um, I told him to give one to Santana as well. So there's a lot of individuals from all over the world, a lot of celebrities. Deb Deb Haaland, who sits in the White House right now with Biden, with the Biden administration, Interior Secretary. She has the drop of water, and I've gifted her the red drop, which is a very special water drop to honor the missing murdered indigenous women, or the missing murdered indigenous individuals, because it's not just women, but it's also men and children that go missing as well, and end up being murdered and things like that. So the missing murdered indigenous women, the red drop stood for that as well. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take those same two colors now, and now we're going to do a twisted cane with colors. And this one's a little bit thinner because it's been pulled, as you can see. But we're going to just work it still. We're going to make it work. We're going to make it happen. Yeah, and so, I became a devotee of Krishna. I don't know how long ago, almost 10 years ago now. I think around 2014, 2015. And, in the beginning, I was, barely a devotee, and even still, I'm barely a devotee. I'm a wannabe vegetarian, and I want to be this and that, and but I believe, I keep Krishna in my heart, and so, that's the biggest thing to be, is always have Krishna in your heart. And so, I've learned and studied Krishna consciousness, bhakti yoga, and in that I've learned about devotional service and how we can give back, and how we can become in service to the world, to individuals, to our family, and to things like that. And so the drop of water was how I was able to turn my God-given talent of being able to turn this art form, having these two hands, to be able to be steady enough, that I'm not diseased in any way, that I'm crippled in my hands, to where I can use them, utilize them. And I have issues with my arm, my fingers go numb, things like that. So I'm having some disease within it, but I'm still able, by the grace of God, to have this this gift of being able to work glass, to be able to manipulate glass with all the elements of God, the fire, the earth, the water, the air, all of it combined. Liquefying the glass is the water, right? Using the heat, that's the fire, right? The earth is what the silica and everything that the glass is made of, right? And the air, using the oxygen to intensify the heat and make it more, and then pulling the ideas out from the ether. It's so much, I utilize glass in a way of meditation, and now it's become a form of bhakti yoga for me. And being able to put this into devotional service, to now it's in a way of serving God or serving Krishna. It's a beautiful thing to be able to do with my glass. It's not just me making money anymore, me being creative for myself. It's now I get to do things, and that's why I now have this time afforded to me to just be able to play and do demos like this. But I'm also working. So we're working up to what I really need to do here. I got to make some ribbon cane. All right, so we're gonna now. I thicken this up. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna just sandwich these two together and twist them. And so yeah, I feel very grateful, to and blessed to be able to have been afforded this. This journey here with the drop of water, because it's taken me onto so many different to so many places around the country that I never would have ever dreamed of going to, different ceremonies I would have never been invited into, and so many different people that I've met, and it's just beautiful to be able to talk about water now, use my artwork, and to be able to talk about the importance of clean drinking water for all. and that I've now become a clean drinking water advocate in the whole world, all because of my glass. It's such a beautiful thing. But, oh, rats. Unscheduled interruption. We'll return in a few minutes. Okay. So I'm going to just add these together. I know you're a beginner, so I don't know if you know about how to do these yet, but we're just going to add this together. Twist them up now. Same thing, just going to heat them both up. I'll see you in a little while. Trying to push that together. So now they're attached like that, as you can see. And we're going to just heat them up and twist them together. And then we're going to decide on one side which one's going to be pulled off. I'll probably cut off the cobalt on the top right here. So we'll just twist that up. You can see with all that heat, I can still twist it. And now we can cut it off right here. Make sure none of that caramel is attached to the cobalt, so the cobalt's clean, ready to be used in something else. And now that's a twisted cane lattacino. Also could be a candy cane. We could have done red and white instead of the blue and white, which I probably should have done to show you how to make a candy cane. But that's actually not even white. That's a caramel and butterscotch. So to make a candy cane, you would do the same kind of thing. All right, and now I need to take this off because I need to utilize this eventually. Actually, we won't worry about that. We'll save that for later. Maybe I'll turn that into a marble or something. We'll just utilize that. Okay, so next, we're going to get into the ribbon cane. So that is outside surface work, where we put the color on the outside of the rod. And now we're going to put the color on the inside of the rod and make it beautifully twisted like this. And hopefully Colette Cat comes back and doesn't miss out too much of this. But let's talk about which colors that we want to utilize. And actually I want to use this color here. This is a little rainbow lattacino that I made the other day. I basically, instead of doing one color or two colors, right, on clear, drawing on the outside, I did 6 colors. I didn't do 7 rainbow. I did 6 colors. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and that's it. I didn't have a, well, I guess you do what? Blue, which is the indigo, purple, and violet. I didn't have the violet. So we just did 6 colors here. The 3 little tiny stringers. So you pull out a little skinny stringer, you know, something skinny like this, and then you draw onto the side here. So you do one little line, then you do another little line with another color, and then another line with another color, and you go around for all 6 of those colors there to create that rainbow, and then you twist it up. So now we got this little tiny twisty cane. I need this color here though for the mushroom. At least that's what I want to use. So we're going to now, I've got this really cool, I don't know if you guys saw, but the other, 3 weeks ago, I won 2nd place in the marble races, the Boro marble races here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. They came from California, and this was the 2nd installment of their races, and the first time ever in New Mexico, and I won 2nd place. I might cut off his little bowling ball here and add a glass, a little glass one. But in winning, you know, I chose to race on this race here. The prize was a 3D printed mini marble track. Mini marble track, guys. These are terp pearls. I don't know if you guys know about the terp pearls, But these are little tiny, like, I don't know, 6, 7 millimeter marbles. And I don't have a rainbow marble for my racer here. So let's go ahead and make a rainbow racer. Since I got to use this, we're going to take this off here. So we're going to turn this into the little tiniest marbles ever. And I don't have, well, maybe I can utilize this here. I don't really have a marble mold for little tiny marbles. I can probably make 2 of them with this. We'll see. I don't know. Like, actually, I'm trying to keep the lines straight. I'm trying to not allow it to bend or anything. Fold over. And I also got to keep track of time. I only got an hour here, guys. Hour and a half at the most. I believe we started about 7:15, 7:20. And so, yeah, probably an hour and 15 at the most. Might actually have to use all of this color. Let's see. See how close we are. Yep, that's getting there. Alright, so I'm going to intensify this heat just a little bit more here. Just barely, just touching it just a smidgen to change it up some. I'm just going to round up this end here. Try to get it to that 7 millimeter size, 6 mil. Something like that. That looks pretty good. And put it side by side comparison. That looks a little big. Okay. So now when I pull it off, I have to make it a little smaller. That's all. I don't know if it'll fit in the holes or not. So I don't want to make it too big. Alright, so we're going to clean up this puntty here real quick. Make sure we have nothing to ruin the rainbow. Just going to attach it with the puntty here. And then we're going to flame cut it off. Like I said, I'm going to pull it off some, make it a little smaller. Alright, and then let me terminate this, get rid of any sort of bubbles or anything. Go to the end. So we turned this into a little quick marble demo, mini marble demo. So just a real mini demo, mini marble demo. So now we're going to round up this side here. And let's see, does this actually work? Yeah, that works. That's cool. I can use that for a little marble mold. Now the trick is getting these nice and round so they can be really good racers. I mean, they work excellent as little terp marbles, little terp pearls. You know, they don't have to be perfectly round, but if you're going to race them, that's a whole different thing. So to make racers, you want to make sure that you round them up on both sides really well, and maybe even on all sides, different angles. Alright, now we're going to hit it on this side here with the punchy, snap it off hopefully. Woo! That is crazy, little tiny thing there. Alright, I gotta put that somewhere where I can find it. We'll clean up this punchy mark on this side here. Round it up. And make sure that's all nice and round. See it trying to bubble. Gonna go a little softer on the flame there. And I don't know how to not touch that flame to the opposite side. How am I supposed to clean up the punchy if each time... Alright, let's try it one more time. I'm gonna attach this. Snap it off. Hopefully it's a clean snap. Alright. Okay, and then I'm gonna pop it off right here. And hopefully I can even get my torch to touch where that punchy mark is. Oh, that was interesting. It just started spinning in there. From like the heat or something. That was interesting. Alright. And there's a little mini Turk racer right there. Okay. Moving on now. So we got that piece cleaned up, I believe. No? Here, we'll just turn this one into like a little tic tac. And I got myself a little Turk set now. And hopefully Colette Cat will be back here soon. to watch this ribbon cane here that we're about to get into. I don't know if there's any other beginner glass artists here who want to learn how to make twisted canes and things like that. But go ahead and comment below. I'm here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in the United States. Recently, been doing a lot of glass blowing videos, demos, how-tos, things like that. And also, I recently been covering a lot of the stuff going on with Lahaina Maui and stuff going on with the Miami Mall incident, which I've pretty much been able to debunk all the footage so far. Now the eyewitness testimony, I can't say what they're saying is true or false. I don't know. Some of the stories sound legit. Some of the people saw something 8 to 10 foot tall, shadow figures. Some people said it smelled like smoke and there was popping and crackling, and people said that officers were called out for fireworks. So yeah, that could have been the popping, the smoke, the smell, the snapping, the popping, the crackling, all that. But all the footage, especially all of King Sosa's footage, individuals been just left and right saying, oh, I got this footage from this person, and he uploads it, and it's all blurry. Oh, I got this footage from this person, and it's all blurry, real quick, not too much to really go off of. So I've had to debunk all the little footage and show, hey, look it, that's not in Bayside. That floor is not the same floor. That's tile floor. It's not brick floor. Like, if you guys just did a little research, that's all it takes sometimes. I'm just making a little tic-tac right here. A little pill. There you go, a little tiny. That's just for me, my own little personal deal. And that way we can clean off that color real quick. So I want to use that, I call it, what do I call it? Moonstone. I don't know what it really is. It's like a milky white. It's a beautiful color. I love it. So now let's get into making the ribbon cane. And let me do a quick time check. What time is it? Oh, hold on. It's already 8:30. Okay, we're going to try to do a quick ribbon. This is going to be the simplest version. I'm not going to do anything complex. Alright, so to make a ribbon cane, and I'm getting picked up here in about 20 minutes, guys. So to do a ribbon cane, we need 2 clear glass rods. I'll just melt that down. Also, we're going to need some space here probably. So I'm going to melt this rod here at the very tip, and then we're going to flatten it a little bit. And I would normally do this on the pad, but the pad is full of colors and the lattacino and the twisted canes and stuff. And those are what I want to show off in a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a really quick, simplified version of a ribbon cane here. And I'm just going to use this kind of like the pad. So we're just going to flatten it a little bit like that. Then we're going to draw our color here. And usually I'd have it a lot thinner on this this portion here. Let's see if I can actually, maybe I can use this. I might be able to use the marble marber here. We can smash it a little bit better. Okay, so we're going to do real quick and simple, not big. Usually I make a really large one that, you know, would last for what I was saying on the other live feed, would last for like 100. And I don't know if that's true or not. I got to really see, will that last 100 now? So we're going to draw this opalescent, or what I call the moonstone white. I don't even know what color it is or what it's called. We're going to bring it down a little bit less. I don't want to burn it out. We're going to draw this directly down the center right here. Just like that. Boom. And like I said, this is going to be small, simplified version. Usually I'd be doing like an inch, inch and a half. This is like barely on the tip of it here. And then we're going to add color on the outside of this. And I would really love to use some red. A dark garnet would be preferable. That is chocolate. Let's see if I can find a dark garnet. There we go. Alright, so now we're going to use the dark garnet, and we're going to put 2 lines on each side of that opalescent, and we're going to try to keep them about as thick as well. I'm going to put 1 line on one side, and then 1 line on the other. So now we're basically encasing, or going on each side of that opalescent color there. You just smash that down, smash that one down. Alright, so now what I'm doing is I'm melting down the color. I'm just kind of using my paddle here to flatten it. Because now what we're going to do is we're going to put this color glass in between another piece of clear glass here. And that way this is in the middle. And in order to do so, we just get another clear rod, and we get this molten. So now we're going to bring the flame back up real intense to get this nice and molten. And we're just going to mash this directly onto the surface there. And then we just twist it up like we've twisted all the other color here. So I'm just going to do a really quick version, and hopefully this is actually the color that I need for later on, because I wanted to get some red with some of the white for jellyfish. And the other day I picked up a different color thinking it was red. My glasses here, the didymiums, they're so dark that I couldn't see the actual color, and I guess I picked up orange instead of the red. Like, oops. Alright, so now we're just going to get this molten. Usually it'd be a lot bigger. I don't know if I'm going to trap any air bubbles or anything with this because it's not as big. Usually I'd work it a little bit more. Alright, but I think I got that pretty good there. Okay, so now we just pull that off, do a plain cut there. I'm going to mash this clear glass down. And then we're just going to heat up this whole thing. Going to make sure that that clear disc is covering all sides. So I'm just going to try to, as I smash it, I'm trying to like force it to go out to the sides a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. Now we're going to heat up this whole rod here, and I'm going to force the glass over, because right now it's leaning like this. The design is leaning crooked. It's leaning like that. So we need to straighten that out. So I'm going to heat up this whole rod, and we're going to force the whole thing over. We're just going to push it over. Just do that, push it this way, push it that way, and now you got it centered. See, like that? So now it's centered, and now we can go on ahead with the twist to do the twisted cane. And also, if you want to make sure that there's plenty of clear glass on the outside and no color coming through on the sides, then this would be a good time to use your clear glass and just cover those spots there on the side. And so I'm going to melt down the sides here just to make sure there's no grooves or indentions when I add any extra clear glass. And sometimes you don't have to add any clear glass. If we had a bigger piece of clear to start with, we could have drawn this directly in the center more and had a lot more clear glass on the outside. But I want to make sure that all that color is really sunk in there and not going to reach out on the side at all. I'm just going to put some clear glass just right there. And we'll do that on the other side too. And this is a little bit extra work, so it's taking a little bit extra time. I'm trying to also remember, I got to hurry this up. I've been helping a friend pack up and move. Recently we lost a friend, her partner, and so I've been there helping. And before we lost him, I was actually over there helping him, trying to organize and declutter. I think maybe he knew his time was coming, and he was trying to get things prepared beforehand. And so now I'm still there, and it's interesting, you know, to be going through your friends' things and belongings, and a lot of it they've already gone through and figured out they're going to keep all that, and now we're just trying to figure out where the rest of it's going to go. And that's the weird thing, is like, okay, we're just going to let this go and we're just going to donate it, or just, like, so many friends and family members, and no one wants to come and have like a piece or a portion, or like, okay, quite interesting. But it's all material, right? Okay, so now we got a good chunk of clear glass on both sides there. Let me just show you how that looks now in comparison to what it looked like before. A lot more clear glass on the sides. So now that design is more sandwiched in the center there. And so now we can go in, use our punchy, which we need another handle. Let me just grab that real quick. There we go, another little 12.75 rod. Just going to clean it up with the Norwex, always making sure to get rid of that dirt, dust, debris from the floor there, and just sitting there for months, almost years, I guess. I don't know how long some of this glass has been sitting on the floor, but it's so nice to be able to pick it up and just wipe it clean like that with the Norwex optic cloth. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to heat up this thing really, really nice. This is ready to go as a handle for a punchy here. We're going to get this nice and molten. Making sure to get all the areas. Trying to get it to glow all the same hot all around. You get that same glowing consistency all the way through, and you know it's all molten. And that's when you know it's ready to go. So then you attach it directly in the center. You want to grab that in the center, and then you just start twisting it, and it's going to twist around itself and form a ribbon. So if you can imagine like a party crepe streamer, you know, you buy those streamers in a roll. It's just a flat piece of paper rolled up. You pull it out and it's flat. You tape it up to the wall, and usually most people will put a twist in the roll, and then it turns into a streamer that's all twisted, right? And that's all we're doing is we're twisting that color inside of here, but it's got that clear glass all wrapped around it, so it's going to look like it's encased and embedded all inside of there. And that's all we're doing. We're just making a nice ribbon cane with the red surrounding that opalescent light, or moonstone is what I like to call it. And hopefully that red will come out. That red is one of those, you know, it's a striking color, so when you have it under a lot of heat, it's really going to look like clear glass. But then that heat will come back out. So you guys may not be able to see what's going on inside of here. I can tell what's happening. I can see that it's a really nice ribbon cane, and hopefully this is going to work out really well for the jellyfish. So I'm going to leave this thick. I'm going to just cut it off right here, and I'm going to get going. I need to go help my friend pack up and move some more. I need to grab some things here before we go. And I got to do my morning sesh. Got to get some dabs in, and little green, smoke some flour. All right, let's put that down. And I always see the heat right there. I make sure not to put this like right on the side of the handles. I try to put that heat away because I might pick these up from time to time, and I don't want to grab something that's been next to something hot, you know. Okay, so now we're just going to cut off this little end of clear here to try to get to that cane. And you can see, look at that. That's what I was going for. Look at that. That is beautiful. So that cane right there, that's what I was going for. So hopefully now all that red is going to really show when I turn it into a jellyfish. So watch later today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, get all the bell notifications. That way you can join me live later on when I make the jellyfish. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I'm Dan the Glassman, and this is the Glassman's World. All right, we'll see you soon. Love and blessings. You guys have a beautiful day.